Hello everybody, it is RBMapleleaf. Welcome back to another Roblox video. Hope you guys been enjoying your day so far. If you are, be sure to like and subscribe, hit the notification button to never miss out on any new content. I usually post twice a week, once on Wednesdays and once on Saturdays. While you're at it, be sure to follow me on all my social media platforms, link in the description down below, as we are back here in the city of Mapleville on Mini Cities 2. I did actually do a bit of work off camera, getting the city closer to 300 people, as you can see on the top left of your screen there. And I actually got a comment from my previous video, showing it on screen here, asking me tips and tricks on how do you sustain yourself in Mini Cities 2, particularly in the early game as we are going into the city of Mapleville here. Um, that's actually a good question. What I find from my personal experience is that, catching my breath there, what I find from my personal experience is obviously let your city grow, get and ensure you're watching your money flow, but take important detail to ensuring that you know there's enough workers for your commercial buildings and your factories, and that um if especially in the early game you can handle a few commercial buildings and factories and supplying them, but over time you're going to get overwhelmed with new buildings, some that are going to need more priority and that resources are going to be important. So what I would focus on is getting your population to grow to a sustainable number, or in this case, I would say 300 people, and ensure that you have enough jobs. It's okay to have a bit of unemployed people. I would, as I turn that volume down, it's actually screaming in my ears. By the way, I am voicing this over because I tried recording this with my headphones on, and apparently I could not hear sound when I was doing this during editing, which is a bit unfortunate, but I'll have to do. So as you can see here, I can handle at least these factories here, supplying them to my only commercial buildings I have in the city, or town, I should say, which is technically a more correct term because of how small this town is at only 274 people. But as you can see there, brief moment, you can see there on the top of your screen there as we somewhat move it to the center, they are the suburban office blocks. Now, usually starting out, their process speed isn't ideal at 15 seconds, but they will help relieve you a little bit when it comes to supplying your commercial buildings, your factories to your commercial buildings, because they basically automate the whole thing for you. And as you can see here, I have a good amount of the resources already laid out. I've got the wood farm, as you can see there on the bottom right of your screen. You saw briefly as well. There we go, on the bottom left of your screen there. There's two stone farms and then the two tree farms, one there and then one here. I also have the lumber mill. I have the ore mine as well. And then I also have the brick factory as well. And then you can see the lumber mill, the lumber yard there for storage, the ore bins, and I got a few warehouses just to store extra resources and all that. So not only do you have to contemplate as well ensuring that you're on sustainable income, like you're having consistent income streaming through, but you also want to make sure that you have a lot of your resources ready, especially when tackling later on in the game when I'll show in just a minute. As you can see me going through my development tree, just focusing. I've been mainly putting a lot of medium Asian houses as they have good and as they do provide a lot of people, but as we will go down as well, you'll also see that throughout the city, I don't focus solely on the medium Asian house. Like, I don't like, as a city builder, to be like repetitively. Oh, as you see there in the industrial. Oh, here we go. Yeah, in the resources, I've got a good amount of the resources opened up. Like, I've got the warehouse, the ore, the stone mine, the wood tree, the plastic factory will likely come to last though, because look at, as you can see briefly there, steel, concrete, glass. We don't have that unlocked as of right now, as you can see here. The steel factories locked. the glass factory is locked and the concrete factory is also locked. I'll probably say my next resource I'll get will be the sand plant or more likely the large stone mine and the wood larger tree farm as well. I would find that more important because they can hold 25 each of their respective resources up from 10, and that just saves me a bit on money as well. As you can see here, these are like my services, as I don't have police, fire, or hot medic open as of right now, but we will get there later on in the video. Um, the main, as I've said, it's also building your resources, ensuring you've got places to store them, ensure you're building your population up, but don't overdo it. And make sure you're also growing your city as well, like build new roads, add provisions. That's kind of how I work. Though my method of working isn't going to be everyone's way of working. And this is city building after all. Anyone uh, go crazy with how really how you build your city, but for me, I design it with a bit more of practicality and what you expect from a normal city like where I live. Um, it's gonna be different from every cor- continent in the world. Like what I think of a practical city is that residential buildings, as you can see here, are generally spaced apart from the industrial because you don't want to, as a resident, you don't want to hear like factories, loud noises, the noise pollution in particular, that can get really bad sometimes. And as you can see here, I'm also deciding on, you also got to think about like what factories as well you're going to go first. As you can see here, the small Asian factory, while it provides less jobs, it has a lower consumption. Its product value might be 1.5 times less than the American, but as you can see later on, I actually genuinely had issues with providing enough electricity and water later on. I'm also building new commercial buildings as well. As you can see there, I do get the star block later on. So there's a lot of things to, as I've said, to answer your question, in my opinion, my priority would be get some people, get some people in your city. Like you might have skyrocketing unemployment, like, but that's okay as long as you can fill them up with jobs, particularly in commercial or industrial, that would be great. As you can see here, I also already have an elementary school in place, but I don't have middle school or high school yet. That will come later on in future episodes because I don't have the development points, and it doesn't seem logical as of yet to get a middle school or high school when there's only about 300 people living in Mapleville as of right now. And also the iterate as well. The development points for them, think when I last looked at them, they were like 80 and like 110. So that's not sustainable. And you also you want to spend your development points wisely. As you can see here, I'm just moving stuff to my storages. Like I've got these warehouses here to hold resources whenever I need them. You saw the lumber mill there, and I've got bricks stored. Um, yeah, so and I'm just here gonna build some more houses here. And as you can see here, here's the medium Asian house. But again, as I've said, I like to have more of a mix of houses. I don't like solely just plastering and spam one particular house. As you can see here, I've got, I think that is, what is that house? Oh yeah, the suburban house and the classic house. So, and then also I do add in a playground as well, just to boost the happiness of the residents as well. As you can see here, I get the star blocks, which is basically just the Roblox version of Starbucks. I don't know if I'm supposed to say that on screen um on camera, I guess you could say, though. I could probably get into trouble for it for copyright reasons, but that is not my main issue as of right now. As you can see here, it does get a bit dark in the game, but I do light up my city, my town. Sorry, I keep saying city because I'll admit as well that at some point when I record the first video of Mapleville, I accidentally deleted my other city that had 8,000 people that I spent so hard on. But don't worry, I'll make a new city, a different city off camera, and I'll just show you the comparisons and speak about what is unique about the city. It may perhaps be similar to as you can see right now, but I intend to have like the same principality of the same principle of building where industrial is generally spaced away from residential and commercial. You generally see a good amount of commercial around and driving that money. And mind you, these commercial buildings, apart from the residential taxes, they are your main source of income. And you gotta watch as well your your expenses as well in the ticks because if you're making less than what your expenses are costing, you lose a good chunk of money depending on the severity. As I go through my development points again, I'm really weighing in my options here, whether to get the Asian factory or the American factory, and then also just checking the suburban office. Processing speeds here aren't great, but they do fill up a lot of jobs. And again, I would prefer automation over having to do things manually because you can get swamped real quick. So I'm going to jump over to where we start building more build houses, get some new commercial buildings, and then where we start making more and more money. Let's jump to that. Actually, no, speaking of which, yeah, here, this is where I'm discussing about ensuring your money is consistent. Like, look at your expenses, your commercial income, and that you're going to have fluctuations every once in a while, but you don't want to have high variability of your money flying all over the place, where you want to have at least some consistency and a consistent trend. Maybe some dips every once in a while is okay, where like some commercial buildings are waiting on supplies, like that's fine and all that. But if it's like consistent, like there's consecutive ticks where you're not producing money or losing a lot of money, or like a lot of stores are waiting on factories, or later on where I had issues with my two buildings, my two offices where they were like where I didn't have enough water supply. That was an actual pain in the rear end. But let's jump straight into where I get new buildings and also hear me discussing like how the offices help me relieve of my congestion of having to run everywhere um across the map. I can tell you it relieves me a lot. I've jumped a bit ahead and I'm now unlocking the small Asian factory. I was just really weighing in my options, which is better, really. And I thought the factory is better because it needs less people. The product value may be less 1.5 times, as I iterated earlier in the video, but the usage is significantly less, as well as the energy usage. So that's why I went with it. And as I've said, I had genuine issues of supplying electricity and water later on in the video, and that was not ideal. And I was waiting to get more money to get a new wind turbine. As you can see here, I now have built those buildings now, the new gas station, new grocery store, and classic shop, as well as that Starbucks that's around the corner. Ugh. Yeah, so as you can see here, I started losing money right there, and that got me concerned where we weren't having enough supplies being shipped from factory to store. And that got me concerned for various reasons because you don't want to go under in this under. Um I can assure you actually it did happen at one point in the video. In fact, I may jump later onto it, but as I said, like your commercial buildings and how you supply them with factories, and if you are automatic managing them with offices, that is important. There's nothing more important than that besides ensuring that you've got your resources ready. As I've said, iterated that I have ore, got wood, stone, and I've got bricks. As you can see here, I'm getting a new wind turbine. In the future, I'll get solar panels, but I can't get that as of right now because they require glass, which is a resource I don't have. And also in the future, it's also kind of ideal if you also have multiple of these said resources scattered around the city. And I will talk about that in future episodes as well when it's appropriate to do so, because that's where the construction yard and the cargo train station is important. Those two will ensure you're distributing goods across the city and ensures your delivery times to buildings that require to be built and all that is reduced to an absolute minimum because that is what you want. As you can see here, I'm still supplying my own buildings manually, just in the event in case, because I don't have new factories yet. I'm actually still waiting for money to be supplied to me because I don't have enough for the Asian factory yet. It cost 1,125 coins, and we are still waiting for money to roll through. As you can see here, I'm not um it it's more um if I went for the American factory, not only would I need more jobs, more people to move in, but I also would need more water and electricity, which, as you saw there, I had issues with. At least the small Asian factory doesn't demand too much. As you can see here, I get a new factory, and then we'll also get new offices, which we will jump to as of right now. So now we are just finally building the third Asian factory. We're just about to get a fourth one as well. We're doing okay, and I guess you could say with money wise, but like as you can see there, our commercial buildings dead in the water. There's nothing currently being supplied to them, and that's just been the issue I've had so far with them, considering how, you know, sometimes the processing speeds of those offices are just downright slow. And as you actually, I didn't notice for a fact. Oh, there we go. Yep. We got an automation achievement. That's nice. 25 development points. We got 10 grand right there. That's very helpful. As you can see there, we're building our two offices. That's very helpful for us. And then we can also build our other factory, for a matter of fact. Our final factory, and then our automation should begin, and all our stores should be supplied, and that I'm butchering my words right now. Hopefully by then, every factory is supplying one store, and we won't need to necessarily intervene too much. Though I will intervene, obviously, for various reasons to ensure that delivery times get to from the factory to the store are a bit quicker than what the offices are pumping out. But as I've said, the officers are there to relieve you, and they will automate the supplies from whatever you want a building or like your factories, for instance, to be supplied to stores, or if you're going to transfer resources to a warehouse, all that kind of stuff. I might have iterated to this earlier as well, but as you can see here, the achievements don't rely on them too much because I mean, although they do have nice rewards, they do dry up really quickly if you don't know how to do them right. And for me in this case, it was more of like the need to ensure that we've got you know, our factory and then the offices were automated. As you can see here, I'm using them to unlock the fire station, the police station, and the medical and the clinic, which I don't have enough for the fire station, but we will get there soon. As you can see here, now starting to automate the task of my factories supplying commercial buildings. They don't have they don't have enough workers as of right now, but that can be an issue that will be fixed in just a minute by just adding more people to the city of Mapleville. But currently, as of right now, as long as I can configure this, we are all good. As you can see here, that's already all the automation already done. As you can see here, I'm now starting to build more houses and ensure that the population we're gonna reach about 400 people in as soon as we get all these houses. And as I said, another I've iterated multiple times in this video and throughout the entire series. How you build your cities is totally up to you. Creation and design in city planning and construction has no limits. It's about how you execute it, how you spend your money wisely. So you kind of have to have a balance between both watching your expenditure and then also your quality as well. Like making sure you use up ample all your space of land. Because like in real life in city planning, land is valuable. As you can see here, I'm also going to build a playground for leisure as well. I have a few of them scattered around, and I'll probably have and I'll focus on leisure in future episodes as well. But currently, as of right now, that's not really a concern. Like police station, that's more of a concern, and the walking clinic, as you can see. And as I'm trying to find places for them, I'm just trying to find what places where everyone gets full coverage, residents. As you can see here, yeah, that place is nice. We barely get that building that's on the edge of the city limits. But we have new houses going in as watch our population increase. Um, and that is a good thing. As you can see here, we're building our houses. Oh, and I realize we're out of resources for that one. I realize our stone mines only can do 10, our small ones, but that's all right. As I've said, maybe in the next couple of videos, we'll add the large tree farm and the large stone mine so we don't have that issue. As you notice, I am actually losing money and I'm in the red. We're in the red. That's not good. Um, I didn't take too much heed to them because I was just focused on getting these houses done. As you can see there, minus 21 right there. And I'm kind of the helmet for not realizing that we just went under and we're in the red. You can see why we don't have much goods available right now in our stores. And also, I realize we don't have enough water, and oh, this is getting dire now. But I'm too focused on getting our houses done, and our buildings done because we're trying to get more people in, ensuring that that's covered. As you can see there, just trying to get these buildings up and running, get new people moving in. Um, that's about it, really. So I don't really take at the time too much attention to the fact that we are in the red zone and just focusing on resources and ensuring that our resources are being supplied. Oh, and I just got hit in the face by something. I think it was a fly, but ugh. As you can see here, just building the final lots of our buildings, of our houses here, getting welcoming in new residents. As you can see here, our population is at 384, which isn't a lot, but as you can see here, we're having issues with water. And as you can see here, net income not great. We are earning 341, but look at our expenses. Oh dear, that is not good. 30 bucks, $30 from commercial buildings, and you can see how dire the situation is because I realize as well our offices aren't online either. As you saw the notion of lack of water, that's where I improvise and having to save a lot of money. Save 5 grand to get the water pump. As you can see there, we were able to cull back our money, our losses right here. Minus 88, and you'll see us back in the green in there, 309, but we are trying to save and earn as much money as possible. Get that new water pump as well. So maybe in the next video or maybe off camera, I will have the police station, the clinic, and the fire station. As you can see here, I'm trying to unlock. Here we go. I'll get all of them built by next episode, or maybe off camera, and I'll just showcase them in the next video. But also, as you can see here, I'm also just trying to think of what else I'm going to buy. The bus depot is really good because you get income from them. You also got to watch how much you charge it, residents. And then we've got train stations, train tracks, and then a train yard. Same thing as well in the industrial side of resources of things. There's the cargo train hub. But again, that will be in future episodes. We don't have the enough development points, and I don't think it's necessary as of right now to get them. As you can see, me just getting a few more houses, unlocking them, and just adding a bit more variety. And as I'm just glancing at our commercial stuff as well, we're just waiting on just the money to be made so we can get this new water pump. As you can see, 5 grand, but this produces a lot, 5,000 liters. So I don't have to rely on the water towers anymore. 3,100. And as you can see here, even though we have automation, I am still able to manually give out goods from our factories to our commercial buildings. So you also have to do that as well. We are so close of getting there. Like, I could taste it, and then we'll probably just end the video there. As soon as we get our water tower, not our water tower, our water pump, and that is going to be great. So there's a lot of plans that I have for the next video, but also a lot of things will be done off camera as well, and I will showcase them at the start of the next episode. We'll probably build more expansions, as you can see right there with how we've got that stretch of road going up towards the maximum amount of land and in that plot as well, sorry. As you can see here, we're just so dying to get this water pump station. And there we go, we got it. And thankfully, I've got all the things we need for it. Ore and stone. And then we'll end the video there. So that will now mitigate the offices not having enough water. And they should be happy now that I spent that much for them. They should go, there they go. The water mark signs have been um faded. But I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. If you did, be sure to like and subscribe, hit the notification button to never miss out on any new content. Follow me on all my social media platforms, and I will give you an update on Mapleville in our next video. There will probably be stuff that will happen off camera. But until then, I am RBMapleleaf, and I'll see you all in the next video.
You should take it slow.